Folks, the Diddy case has taught a lot of us more than we ever wanted to know about racketeering laws. But Diddy's hardly the first celebrity to face RICO. The rapper Young Thug was also charged with racketeering and stood trial for almost 2 years before agreeing to a plea deal last October. In exchange for pleading guilty to drugs and firearms charges and no contest to racketeering, he was sentenced to 15 years of probation, but no prison time. The foreman on Young Thug's jury was a man named Jason Collins, who's just launched a YouTube series about his experience. And Jason is kind enough to join me now. Man, oh man, good to talk to you as well, Jason. Thank you so much for being on.
Thanks for having me on.
How much of a learning curve? I just can't imagine. You go from this normal life and you're thrown into a courtroom and suddenly you got to learn everything there is to know about RICO. Do you feel as a juror you have a very different perspective of what it is to be found guilty of RICO than, say, all the people reading the headlines about Diddy?
Correct, though. I mean, it's so much that's involved, and it's so big. And going into it, I wasn't knowledgeable about it, but after sitting in that courtroom for that amount of time, you get to start to learn, or start to learn about racketeering and RICO, and the web that the prosecutors are trying to formulate and give us as jurors to understand what's happening. I will say that I'm a huge opponent of RICO, especially in that case right there, because I think that the court case was not set up in a manner to charge most of the defendants inside who were being charged in that courtroom. However, I will say that it's good to know what someone, I mean, the amount of evidence that someone should bring to the courtroom in order to be able to charge someone properly. But RICO, I was not a huge fan of it. I thought that the court case itself was done poorly. I've expressed that, and I believe the state was unorganized, and that's what led to either the plea deals as well as the verdict that the other jurors and I came up with towards the very end.
And what was that verdict?
The verdict is not guilty, except for it was one charge, if I'm mistaken, that was given to one of the defendants, and everyone else took a plea deal, including Jeffrey Williams. So yeah, it was a long process.
Let me ask you this. Now that you've been through it, are you way more mindful? You see a case like Diddy's and you're watching every single moment of it because you want it, because you know what it takes now. Are you seeing in Diddy's case that the threshold is being met for RICO?
Threshold is there, and I thought about that. There's what do you want to, as a juror, you want to be able to show a web and how things are connected, and it's up to the juror to follow the story. And for me in particular, I followed the facts. I was not going by the emotions. I was going strictly by the facts. So you have the defense team who provided their evidence and providing what they want us to know, and you have the prosecution team who did the same exact thing. However, if things are not matching up, then you start to wonder, okay, then now you have to differentiate who's telling the truth and who is stretching the truth. And so in this P. Diddy case that's going on, which is worldwide, if I was a juror on that court case, I'm going to see any consistencies. I'm going to take out the emotions, and I'm going to go by the facts. It is up to the defense team to provide me the facts that took place. Of course, the prosecution team is going to share what they have to share what they have to share. However, it's a web, and this court case right here does give a threshold, I believe, of a RICO case. This is a prime example of a RICO case. What Young Thug was going through, there was a lot of made up things that the jurors and I started to question. But this particular trial right now, there's a lot of evidence that's there, but it's up to the jurors to connect those dots and then formulate their own opinion once it's time for them to reach a verdict.
I can't wait to have you back, and I'm going to invite you early and often, Jason Collins. You really have your head around this like not many people do, so I really appreciate your knowledge. Will you come back?
Yes, thank you. I mean, I definitely wouldn't want to come back, though. This is a major trial, and it's so great to speak with you. But this trial is going to shake the world in so many ways, especially the industry as well.
And it will teach a lot of people about this particular set of laws and what it takes to get a conviction. Thank you so much, Jason Collins. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.